done your deal with the promotion on your plates.
Yeah.
And then you're walking in the ring. You've come out to Bo Selector. Mickey Finn's doing the DJing for you.
Done the remix for me.
What's he come out to? Do you remember?
No, I can't remember. I can't remember.
Sometimes he comes out with just a hood up, doesn't he, and not really doing much.
He didn't. He obviously he had a black. I remember he had a black top, a black cut off sweatshirt. Obviously black shorts, and he had hair at that time as well. He had like little twists.
He had his tattoo at this point?
No,
he didn't have his tattoo.
No.
Right.
I hadn't had the tattoo done yet. And it was for me.
Was his promoter Don King at this point?
No, I think it was a guy named Shelley Finkel.
Right.
Yeah. Shelley Finkel. And Frank Warren had something to do with it as well.
Right, okay.
But yeah, when he came in, I was just like, I remember I just wanted the fight to be on. I mean,
you were game as
and
fuck.
I wasn't. Yeah, like people wanted to say, or people will say and ask if I was frightened or scared.
But you're a professional boxer, aren't you? You're gonna back yourself against anyone.
Yeah, but not only that, there obviously prior to my fight, obviously we'd seen and I'd watched the fight with him and Franz Bofer.
Right.
And that was the last big fight that I remember of his. And he didn't look so good.
Were you watching him and thinking, there's things I can pick hold in here?
Yeah, because and I'd obviously been on my role of the 3 fights I'd fought, Pele, Danny and Scott Welsh. 2 of the fights were really tough fights. Obviously, Danny and Scott. The Pele Reed fight weren't tough in the sense it was physically tough. It was tough in the sense that I had to get over a little bit of a hurdle in my head.
Right.
You know, knowing that he was such a good puncher, and what he'd done. But
did you not have any of that when you were fighting Tyson then?
No.
You got over it.
Yeah, because I'd been in camp. I'd had a good camp. Like I say, I was in Aldershot. I'd had a good camp. I'd felt I was in shape. I felt I was in like the best condition, you know. So yeah, going into the fight, I didn't have no worries. My daughter, the only thing for me, my daughter was being born. My daughter Jada, she was actually born November.
Is Jada the oldest?
No, she's my second youngest child. She's the second youngest, yeah. So she was getting ready to be born. So she was born November. Don't let me get this wrong. November.
I'll drop me out.
28. Yeah, she was born on the 28th of November.
Oh, she's born 28th. That's my little girl's birthday.
And the Tyson fight was actually 2 months later.
Right.
So yeah, that was the only things that I was kind of even half thinking about.
Okay.
You know, so, and like I say, her mum.
What? Because you was in camp while she was being
while she was like, her mum was kind of, and her mum was actually doing bits and pieces for the fight while she was pregnant and nearly giving birth.
And the promotional and all
so,
that.
So yeah, part of the promotional stuff and all this. I was fortunate that I got to see her born.
Right.
And then I had to go back to camp. And then I had to come into camp, yeah. So that was part of the worry as well. You know?
So on the day of the fight, you've done it. You're not a bag of nerves.
No,
you're ready to fight.
I was just, yeah.
So then you go into how was it when you went you're in the ring with him and you get to go, and then what happens?
And then the fight for me, it weren't a surprise that he hit me, and it weren't a surprise that he hit me hard. It was just a surprise that I'm saying to myself, how the fuck, who are you to be hitting me? That was my mindset, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't the fact that he hit me. It was the fact that, hold on, who the fuck are you? That was what was going in my head, you know? And it was like...
did that spur you want to...
And that's in, if you watch the fight, he comes out and we practiced. We've gone over this time and time again. He comes straight to you and he'll step left, step right, and then he'll throw a punch. And that's what he did. You know? And in my head, I'm going, hold on.
And did he hit you with that punch?
Yeah.
Right. So you knew what he was going to do
because he's got good hands,
and he still able to do it.
He got good hands. Yeah, he had good hands then. Yeah, definitely. And I know we're going back 26 plus years now. And he was and thinking about it, when I think about it now, he was 33.
Right. And you were 35.
And I was 35. I just turned 35. He's 33 and I just turned 35. That's when basically we're in our prime.
Right.
You know? And a lot of people that I've or some people that I've spoken to about, obviously, and they're saying, "Oh, but he was past his best." I say, "You fucking mad? He was past his best. Are you crazy?"
Well, he still fought Lennox after that, didn't he?
He fought Lennox 2 years later, and then Danny Williams 2 years after that.
Right.
So, yeah, he was a force. I'm not gonna take anything away from him. He did what he came to do. And it took me months to actually, not just the fact that he hit me and hit me hard and he knocked me down, but it took me months to actually see what he actually did. So I kept watching the fight over and over and over and over again. And his footwork was so good. You know, not just his punch power, but his footwork was so good. He was just able to do that. Something, I think maybe something for him, something that was very natural.
It was totally natural for him.
Yeah.
He was a force of nature, wasn't he? Winning the world title. Was he 19 when he won it?
20.
20 when he first won the first world title. I mean, that's literally unheard of in the boxing world, especially in heavyweight boxing.
Yeah.
I mean, and you didn't turn professional for another 7 years. Is that right?
It would have been another 7 years. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was 93. I turned pro, and he
so
got the title.
So was he inside
96.
when you turned pro?
I think so. I think he was. Yeah.
And he was inside for 3 years. Yeah.
He was inside for 3 years. Yeah, he must have been. Yeah.
So and then he comes out, and then
Lennox, when I turned pro, Lennox was world champion.
Right. Oh, was he world champion when you turned pro?
Yeah.
You sparred with Lennox, though, didn't you? When he was world champion?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So the first time I sparred with Lennox when he was world champion, we was over in Washington, and it was a bit for me then. I remember because at that time I'd only had two pro fights, so that was a big jump, but it was a fantastic jump though because it was a great learning curve for me.
And the fighters of your time, of your era, that you fought, who was the governor? You've sparred with, you fought, you've been in the same company with. Who was the governor?
I'm lucky. I think I was very fortunate that I got to fight a lot of good guys.
Well, you fought. How many world title people who fought for world titles have you fought?
5.
Yeah. So they fought for world titles, or had they won world titles?
They were world champions.
World champions, right?
So that's Klitschko, Tyson, Axel Schultz, John Ruiz, and Oleg Maskaev.
Right.
They're 5 world champions. Then I was able to fight, I don't know how many European champions. I can't remember. I know about 3 or 4 European champions, I think. Then guys that I sparred with, names that I sparred with, Andre Galata, from America. He's Polish, but obviously he was from Chicago. Then sparring with Lennox and Bruno and Gary Mason and
Herbie Hyde
and Henry Akawandi, even Jimmy Thunder from Australia. I think someone told me that Jimmy Thunder passed away, unfortunately. But yeah, all guys like that, you know. So I'm lucky. I had a.
So could you say that there was someone that you thought that was just different apart from Tyson?
I think someone who even I underestimated, unfortunately, to my detriment, was Frank Bruno.
Right.
I underestimated him in the sense that not actually realising how good he was. And then,
I mean, he was a specimen as well, don't he?
As a physical specimen, as someone who I would say I can only liken Frank's power to a horse. He's like if you look at a racehorse, you can see the muscles in a racehorse, and you know that they're powerful beasts.
Right.
That was Frank Bruno back then, mate. He was just absolutely crazy.
And when he won his world title. Because he'd fought Tyson twice beforehand, yeah?
Yeah.
And he won his world title. Who was it against?
Against Oliver McCall.
Oliver McCall, right. Was you good? How did you feel when at that point? Because when was that? 96, 97?
God, I can't remember when he went.
I bet that was about 97.
It might have been 97-ish, something like that. It might have been. Because, and I think...
Because that was a British champion.
Yeah.
Did you get inspired by that, or?
Well, I don't know about being inspired by it, but it was a case of I never realised how dedicated you had to be to become champion.
Right.
You know? And looking at someone like Frank Bruno, and looking at Frank Bruno, full stop, I think, Frank is a personification of dedication.
Right.
He never took his eyes off the ball, and as much as we, and including myself, would run him down and say he's no good and he's this and he's that, he was that guy that never lost sight of the goal that he set himself of becoming world champion. So yeah, that's to me, and I have to big him up. A real, you know, like that guy that never gave up, never took his eyes off the ball. You know what I mean? He's that guy. You know what I mean? And then winning the world title, I did feel it for him. And I thought he did a
because that was I remember I was only 16, 17 at that point, and I was like, fucking hell, an Englishman winning the world title.
Yeah,
felt very patriotic at that point.
But don't forget though, I think Lennox had won at Lennox. Because Oliver McCall beat Lennox.
There was a while though, like, the English public didn't really take to Lennox.
Yeah, that's and I get it.
And he used to also call out Bruno at that point as well.
There was a lot of
there was needle between them two.
There was a lot of needle between the two of them.
Did you watch that documentary? Is it Four Kings? Four Kings.
I haven't watched the whole.
Was it Four Kings or Four Lions?
No, Four Kings.
Four Kings. Right.
Yeah. But I understand it. I understand it very much because. Of where I think the guys have spoken about the mental side of the game as well, as well as not just the adoration that you get from the crowd and everything like this, but the mental side of the game and the torture you have to put yourself through.
He got in his head, didn't he, Lennox?
Yes. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
So did
I think even now to this day that Bruno does still kind of hold a bit of a grudge about what he went through.
Did he fight Bruno after Bruno fought McCall, Lennox? So Bruno was world champion. Was that his next fight?
Bruno was world champion.
Was that his next fight then?
I'm sure Bruno was Bruno world champion.
So I'm sure
Bruno lose the title or
did he lose it? Did he lose it to Lennox?
I think that might have been the case. I think it might have been. That might very well. You might be right because I think Bruno was the champion, and he lost it. Yeah, he lost it to Lennox.
I remember that we didn't when I was a kid. I didn't really like Lennox. We didn't take to him. I personally, my friends didn't. They didn't take to him because
they said he was Canadian.
Well, he was. I mean, he come over here with a different accent. You know, you couldn't hide that. he kept on calling out Frank Bruno
Yeah.
this, and he was being a bit derogatory to him, to be honest with you.
Yes,
And if you
yeah.
loved Frank Bruno, because he was
Yeah,
a national
then-
treasure,
yeah,
it was a
that's- yeah,
serious,
that's right.
it was an absolute national treasure,
Yeah.
Frank Bruno. So you took it as like you was being insulted yourself,
Yeah.
a little bit at that point.
And I think, you know, in some ways, that was maybe a little bit of the beginning of the real serious trash talking
right.
that happens now. You know, in
Right.
boxing, in the boxing world, and in the fight game.
Well, that's what I
I've
wanted
never
to
really
ask you.
been a fan of it.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Is a lot of it bollocks? The trash talking, because that clearly wasn't. That clearly was. That was real. He really got in his head.
That was bad.
But now you see it. They trash talk each other, and then they're cuddling after the mat. What's it?
Yeah,
and you're almost
you know,
like best of mates.
I never really trash talk fighters. I think the only time it got a bit spicy with me, as far as I can remember, was me and Scott Welsh.
Right.
In the second fight with me and Scott
Okay.
Welsh. You know? And I think that was more to do with his trainer at the time. His trainer kind of was getting under my skin. And I was a little bit... I'd been taking some supplements and I felt that I wasn't in the best shape.
Right.
You know, and his trainer kind of pointed out and was saying I was getting fat and this and that, and it really pissed me off. Don't worry, but that was like 30 odd years ago nearly.
I was about to say, you didn't piss you off that much, did it?
Yeah, so, but I've never really been a fan of it, trash talking fighters, and I've always just said, well, if the guy thinks he can beat me, then that's on him.
Well, we were talking about Bruno, right? And they love the British public.
Yeah,
They loved him
yeah,
because he was so humble.
Yeah.
But I think that the way that you are is people think that you're a really humble. Well, you are a really humble person. But I think that's why the British public love you so much. Because they do. We were talking about this the other day,
Yeah.
and we were saying how much the British, but you are like national treasure, right? And it kind of, I think that's because of your personality, not just because of your sporting prowess and whatever else. But I know you get embarrassed by it.
Yeah, I don't get it.
But you are. You're loved everywhere you go. Listen, when we used to have a shop on Oxford Street and you used to do the doorman, how many times did people come up to you and take pictures of it?
I was just
Every single day, people would come and get in line to take pictures with you. And half the time, I was winding them up because I would wind you because we was in the centre of London, and these tourists obviously some of them don't know who Julius is, but when they see a lot of people queuing up to get their picture taken with him, it's obviously a celebrity in there. So I used to tell him, that you was Barry White, or sometimes I used to also say, go and get your picture taken with Danny.
Yeah, Danny Williams.
Danny Williams.
Yeah, that's
well, you weren't too happy about that, was
annoying.
you?
Yeah.
So go on, tell us.
And me and Danny don't even look nothing alike. I don't mind.
But did you have needle with Danny, or never at all, or was it all sweet?
It wasn't needle. It weren't necessarily needle. It was fight needle. That was it. Right. I always said about Danny, as far as even after I fought him the first time.
Yeah.
I believe Danny was one of the best homegrown heavyweights this country produced in a very long time.
Right.
Very, very good fighter. Very good fighter. I a lot of respect and a lot of time for Danny.
Because he also fought Tyson, but he won.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's that.
Danny fought Tyson 4 years after me.
Right. And he was a different Tyson.
He weren't the same fighter. He wasn't the same fighter by then. He'd obviously lost to Lennox, going through maybe, I think it was financial difficulties or whatever.
Okay. Who, Tyson?
Tyson was
Tyson, right?
And I said, I think I was one of the only people that said Danny would beat him because, and knowing Danny, because Danny was a very similar type of puncher to Tyson.
Right.
In the fact that Danny threw triple and quadruple left hooks.
Right.
Just like Tyson used to do. But Danny was very good. Danny was really good. One of the only fighters I knew that could do, heavyweight fighters I knew that could do that. Right. You know, very, very good fight and strong, tough. I think my only issue with Danny beating Tyson was then I felt personally that he should have waited and had a rematch with Tyson. Took the rematch.
What took more readies out?
Yeah, to get more money out of it because, and then he jumped in. Then unfortunately jumped in with Klitschko.
Oh, okay.
Who was,
right. Yeah.
He was world champion at the time, and Klitschko at his absolute punishing best. You know, I felt he done a number on Danny. I thought it was a bit unfair.
When you fought Klitschko, was it early in his career?
Early in his just before, it was actually just he fought me, and maybe two fights later, maybe he fought and won the European title because I think we fought on the same. Well, no, we fought in the same year. Fought him in the same year, and then he went on the next year or later on the same year to win the European title. Okay. When I fought Axel Schultz, I fought Axel for the European title.
Did you fight them both in Germany?
Both in Germany, yeah.
Because Klitschko, did he fight every single one of his fights in Germany? Well, obviously, not when he went all around the world, but that was his home. That was where was his home venue.
Klitschko is Ukrainian anyway.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of Ukrainians have their careers in Germany. A lot of Eastern European fighters, full stop, go to Germany to have their careers. You know, I fought a guy named Luan Krasniqi. He's Albanian, but I fought him in Germany.
Right.
Another guy who I sparred with. A guy, I think he might be, I don't know, he might be Russian or something like Ruslan Shagayev. He was like, Ruslan Shagayev, I'm not sure if he fought for a world title, but I think he fought for a European title, ended up fighting for a European title. They called him the White Tyson.
Okay.
Southpaw, short, squat puncher, very good puncher. You know, I sparred with him. I used to spar with him in Germany.
How many fights after Tyson did you have?
After Tyson, I fought and defended my British title. I lost, gutted. Lost my British title, and I lost my British title to actually a good friend of mine, Michael Holden. He was one of my sparring partners for the Tyson fight,
right? And
also he ended up being one of the bodyguards as well.
Okay.
From Manchester, yeah.
Right.
So we spent time out in Spain. We was training out in Spain together. We lived in a flat together out in Spain. He's absolute nutcase.
Well, it's good. It's probably good that you lost it to one of your pals. Then.
Yeah, no.
Was you mates with him at that point? Was you mates with him at that point?
I was angry. No, can't be friends with anybody that I fight.
Right.
Only afterwards, and maybe a bit before, but only afterwards we could be friends. But Michael, he beat me for my British title, and then I beat him for an eliminator again to fight for the British title.
So then, did you? How many fights after that then? So you got at Tyson, and then you carried on.
I had about another 20 odd fights.
Oh, so after Tyson, it weren't the end of your career. You had another 20 fights after.
But
was that the pinnacle though? Was that what you think was the pinnacle of the career to fight with him?
Well, some people say yes, but I say no because the pinnacle of my career for me was winning the British title.
Right.
That was the high point of my career.
Yeah.
Fighting Tyson was, as you maybe you'd say, that was the gravy.
Right. Okay.
On the dish.
Yeah.
Because I'd already achieved. I'd won the British title, won it outright, and that was my goal.
Got ya.
That was my goal. And then fighting Tyson was a bonus. That would have been a bonus.
So, 20 fights after, did you go back straight into door work?
No, actually no. I didn't go back into door work until after I'd finished my career. Got back. I think I got back into doing the doors. God, I think I stopped boxing in 06, 07.
Right.
And then, started doing the doors again 10, 11.
So what you've been doing between 06 and 06 to 20, it's 5 years. Spending all that Tyson money.
Because I used to work in schools as well.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so I started doing mentoring, working in schools with young people. And doing doing not tours as such, but prison visits and.
Because you do a lot of charity work all the time, don't you? You do a lot of charity work.
I try to. I try to say that I want to, if I can, give back to, and it's not even saying I'm giving back financially, and giving my time, and maybe my experiences of life experiences. So I can do that.
I meet loads of people who say, "Oh, you know Julius," and they say, "Oh, I met him doing some charity boxing, or I met him helping out some kids doing some boxing, what's it?" And it's people from all walks of life that you think you wouldn't meet. So you must do a lot for them to keep on, telling me.
Well, I think it's important. Me, honestly, when I say this, I think it's important. And I'm working on the door, and I've been back on the doors and stuff. And there doesn't go by when someone will come up to me and go, "Oh no, don't you remember me?" And I'm looking at this person, they got a beard and maybe going grey and all this, and they're going, "You used to teach me in school." And I'm looking at them going, "No, I was used to teach you."
I'm not that old. What are you talking about?
So, and then they go, "Yeah, you used to teach me. You taught me boxing in school, and you done this and done that." And I really am grateful for that, because it's. And they say to me, like I've heard many times that people say to me, the things that you taught me, I've still take them, and it's not just the physical side of the boxing. It's the life lessons and the talking and stuff like that. About staying focused and going and trying and aiming for your goals.
So you went from doing all this to your boxing, your charity work, and also, but you went back to your doors 2011.
Yeah.
But you carried on doing all this the whole time through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you end up working at Box Park.
Yeah.
In 29? When was that? 2020? Or you was there beforehand?
No, I was there before. I'd been at Box Park. God. When was I at Box Park? 2016, 17, something like that.
Okay, so you'd been back on the doors for 5 years or so. And you had a
God, when you put it like that, I don't know.
So you must have been there for 5 or 6 years.
I was there for a while.
Before 2020 pandemic.
Yeah.
People start going back starting going back out and whatever else. And you had a little incident.
But that incident was 2020. Hold on, 2023. I think that was. I thought it was just after COVID. No.
Oh right.
No.
So you've been there a long while then.
Yeah, that was 2023 because it's going to be 4 years in June, I think. 4 years in June.
2022.
2022, 2023. Yeah.
4 years in June.
Yeah, it's going to be 4. I'm sure it's going to be 4 years in June.
So that reignited your public persona.
Yes, really. I know, and it wasn't. I didn't think that was a good look. I gotta say. And how I say this and why I say this is because as doorman, and I've always kind of prided myself on this, that I don't want to be rolling around on the floor fighting people. It's not, it's not what you want to be doing. But there comes a time, like what happened in that incident, that you have to kind of put your foot down. And on one hand, I'm glad that the guy never had any serious injuries or anything like this. But on the other hand, guys that work on the door, we do not go to the door thinking to ourselves, we're going to be fighting people. You got to realise and understand. People have to realise and understand. We do this to feed our families, feed our kids, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's a job. Well, it's a job like any other job out there.
To be fair, the fella had ample opportunities.
To
walk away.
Yeah.
And his gang of mates also had plenty of time to walk away.
And the sad thing is, the crazy thing is, that a couple of those guys that were with him were professional boxers.
That's a bad move.
Yeah, it's a bad look.
That's a bad look. Acting like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's acting like that, and then the fella who was really kicking up, he gets sparked.
Yeah.
And then it's a kind of we'll calm down now.
It didn't need to 100%. It didn't need to go there. But like I say,
did you get much backlash?
Not backlash from the public at all. I think out of the hundreds of thousands of posts and everything that was out there, I personally only saw about 3 that were negative.
Right.
People were very supportive of me and understood where and why the situation had happened.
Well, it was all there on camera, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's no getting around that, is there?
No.
There's no getting around that.
Inside the venue, you had the CCTV, and outside the venue, you had that situation where he came at me and I'd done everything he'd done prior, and then he came at me, and then obviously the end result. And then, obviously, I had to go to the police. I was formally arrested, taken to the police station. They did their investigation, and it was NFA. Because, and then what was seen by them on the CCTV verified everything that I said, and verified everything that was spoken by the management.
So you got did Box Park back you on that?
Yes, the CEO of Box Park,
he did, yeah.
Roger Wade, a fantastic man, an absolute diamond.
Right.
He backed me and gave me his support, and I'd still every now and again work in Box Parks. I work in all of them, Shoreditch, Wembley, and Croydon as well. Okay. So I'm.
But you're still doing the doors now?
Yeah. Bits and pieces at the weekends and whatever. Yeah.
Is that what you see happening for the foreseeable?
No.
What plans you got?
I am. My plans are to come away from the doors and start teaching, getting into the teaching side of it. You know,
you're going to uni at the moment, aren't you, or college at the moment?
Yeah, I'm doing a bit of college because I have to. You know, this is the sad thing about getting old, is that we have to get old and then we have to catch up with technology. You know, these young people are sitting around looking at me, laughing their heads off. But I was always computer illiterate, very much. If I saw a computer, they frightened me.
Would you walk up with you? I'd do anything rather than I would do anything. I'd drive to Manchester rather than sit in front of a computer and do paper. I hate it.
Yes.
I hate it.
So I had to learn to get on and use computers and stuff like that. So, but it's I'm enjoying it, and it's given me obviously broadens your horizons.
It does.
And for me, that I'm thinking about diversifying, as they say.
And then we go on to what we've been talking about maybe for 4 or 5 years. Because listen, as I was saying to you, I think you would be the governor on hosting a podcast. I've been saying this for a long while.
That, to me, is, it's something different, definitely something different. And I have to, we have been talking about this for a long time.
Long time in the making.
Yes.
So I think what we're going to look for now is to try and get some of your big name guests.
Hopefully, definitely.
Or any guests at all.
And there are people out there that I'll be able to get in contact with and drag screaming and kicking to sit in the chair.
That's it.
You know,
and we've now built a podcast studio for this particular thing.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got a few guests. We've got a few shows. So we've got a show going on with the Magic Mod.
Yes.
And then hopefully we'll have the Julius Francis show as well. And well, thank you for coming down,
John.
today.
It's been a pleasure.
And thank you for letting me ask you a few questions because it's the first time I've ever done this, and I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone. But thank you.
No problem.
Much appreciated.
No problem.
So tell them that you'll be seeing them later.
Yes, definitely. You will be seeing me later. So if it's that camera, or that camera, be ready for me.
That's it.
All right.
Sweet. That was fun.